We are here today to play some updated Jund Saga. I'm pretty excited for this list. So obviously an archetype that's like really existed in and out of prominence in Modern since the release of Modern Horizons 2. At one time it was a tier 1 deck back when Lurrus was legal, and since it has kind of dwindled a little bit in metagame share. Still a deck I think is viable, a deck we go on deep runs with sometimes even. And it's a deck that got some pretty nice upgrades from Brothers War. Wixbone, thank you for the 14 months. The biggest ones are Mishra's Research Desk and Haywire Mite. I guess really the only like cards from Brothers War, but we can talk a little bit. There's other changes too. Research Desk is a card I've been like incredibly impressed by. This card just as an Urza Saga target to give you some card advantage, put you more into a better position in the late game has been very good, and has some extra synergy with Fable of the Mirror Breaker, discarding it for value. I'm playing 2 copies here. I've said in the past you probably just want to play 1 copy, but after playtesting some with the card, I really like it, and I think in Jund Saga specifically it makes sense to play 2. The other card is, of course, Haywire Mite. I've chosen not to main deck any Mites in this list. I think that we're not quite in a metagame where you want to main deck them. I think that could change, but I think having access to 2 in the 75 is pretty important. You will notice that Tarmogoyf is not present in this list. I do think Tarmogoyf is fine in this archetype. I think it's a reasonable card, a solid card to play, but it has kind of been relegated to archetype role player, archetype playable card, optional card, rather than mandatory include in the archetype, in my opinion. And one card, and so like one thing that like when you think about Tarmogoyf in this list, you're like, well, what other 2-drop are you gonna play? There's just like not really other good 2-drops. But we've been doing a lot of play testing and building, and artifact brews, and Power Conduit is a card that I think is very good in decks with Urza Saga and other 3-mana sagas as well. And so just like in a deck that kind of instantly wants to play Fable and Saga, Power Conduit is a very good card to like reuse these abilities over and over again. Jund is a deck that slows the game down, games go long. The Power Conduit recurring to Saga I think is just like a very good fit here. Very good fit in this archetype. I think those are the main things to go over. Don't think there's any other huge points to hit. We can hit some other points later. We can go ahead and just jump into it. No 4-mana sagas. Yeah, I'm not playing any 4-mana sagas because all the 4-mana sagas are not playable in Modern. Gargantuan, thank you for 13 months. Thank you. You're up against a Kihira. I would probably not consider keeping this hand against anything besides a Kihira reveal, but this might be okay against the like turn 1 Ragavan against Kihira is just so nice. Let's mulligan the 5-lander though, I think. Oh, and we have Power Conduit Saga. This hand's really good. You can put back the push. Wound up in the ER yesterday. Oh no. What ended up playing? I played Blue Red Delver at DreamHack, a deck that I thought was very good against mono green, which it was, and was more resilient to Graveyard Hate than Phoenix, but ultimately I think also had some other issues, and I kind of wish I had played Phoenix instead. I had a really good time at the tournament. I didn't make the regional championship. I had a deep run in the Seal 10K with a very bad pool, and I lost 2 very close matches at the end, unfortunately. I'm casting Inquisition over Ragavan here, and Ragavan would have been much better against my opponent's exact hand. But this is a hand that I really want to get Power Conduit Saga going, so I'm trying to use my discard spell to get a counter spell or prismatic ending out of the hand, so Power Conduit Saga can resolve. Yeah, exactly. That was the big difference, is that what's great about Phoenix is like every single turn that passes is so good for you. You are just always like advancing your deck's game plan. But with Delver, you can be disrupted. Other decks have better late games than you, and there's a lot of matchups where I was really feeling that impact, like against Fires and Rakdos. Alright, that's a pretty good one for my opponent to pick up. Hope they bounce the Saga. Is there a list up? I posted on Twitter, maybe in a stream deck or 2. I want to spend some time with Pioneer this week. It's kind of tough because like I have like today and tomorrow kind of planned out. Hey Andrea, thank you for your resubscription. Congratulations on winning the classic with the Karuga Fires deck. That deck looks sick. I tested the game within 9 months. That test 2 Boseiju and 1 Din metagame call. I have the rest of the Boseijus in the sideboard. I don't think you really want them in the main deck, but it's also like Gen players are like, did you test this incredibly small change? Like, you would need to play millions and millions of matches to know the difference between, you know, 2 Boseiju, 1 Din. I don't know. Millions is like hyperbole, but you know what I mean. That's the kind of I didn't spend 30 matches testing that now. Do you think there's yeah? So yeah, I had an 8 Pyromancer deck with 4 Pyromancer, 4 Iconoclast, loose focused, Treasure Cruise. I think a lot of other people found that deck too. With the black improvised demon as top end. Oh no, I don't think so. I don't think so. No, I don't think that is something. Okay, I like drawing a land here. We don't need to prioritize making a Saga token because we have the Power Conduit. I do think I'm just gonna Thoughtseize. What's the idea behind cutting Goyf in the list? So, Tarmogoyf is not a staple in Jund. It is, in my opinion, a playable card. It is absolutely a card that you are not embarrassed to register. Okay, I really want to take this Prismatic Ending. Yeah, I think I have to go take Prismatic Ending, dash Ragavan, and hope that they just trade the Shark token for the Ragavan. It kind of is. So, I mean, listen, if we have a disagreement, if you just, like, say, oh, if you think that it is, that's fine. You know, we can agree to disagree. But in my opinion, Tarmogoyf is not a staple. I think that it is an archetype role player. It is a flex spot. It's a card you can choose to play. It's fine. It is not a mandatory card for you to play. So cards that are mandatory in Jund: Wrenn and Six, Thoughtseize, Ragavan, some split of 1 mana removal, Urza Saga and this, like, you know, Jund Saga. These are like the non-negotiable cards. And then the flex spots: Tarmogoyf, Fable the Mirror Breaker, Soul of Windgrace, Terminate, your number of Inquisitions, like this. These are your flex spots. Oh no, classic Thoughtseize bug. Okay, so do I want to pull a counter off the Saga so that I can? Yeah, I think I pull the counter off the Saga. And puts Gehira in the hand. Okay, because they couldn't hold up Archmage's Charm. Okay, sad tap lands. I can't slam the Soul of Windgrace. We can make a Saga token this turn. Fable seems too good to be a flex spot. Well, Fable is really good. Like, any card you choose to play is going to be good. You know what I mean? But these kind of conversations are always like, I'm trying to give a. It is a flex spot. There's plenty of other spots you can play in this spot. You can play Grist. You can play Seasoned Pyromancer. You can play Liliana. You can play Kolaghan's Command. There's tons and tons of like reasonable 3-drops. You know what I mean? And like Fable's one of them. It's not like. It's not a mandatory card, is all I'm saying. Okay, I think I'm going to make another token, get a Mishra's Research Desk. My opponent has Archmage's Charm, so I'm not trying to slam my 4-drop into the counterspell here. Thoughts on Enigmatic and Pioneer? I think it's a fine deck. But again, I'm not declaring Tarmogoyf to be an unplayable card in this deck. But I am saying it is not a card that you are like, just like, it's not a mandatory inclusion like it used to be. Research Desk, let's go. What did I play in Pioneer? So I played this blue-red Delver deck that had like a very, very good mono-green matchup. I was like 9-1 in testing, and it was like a lot more resilient to Graveyard Hate than Phoenix. But I honestly just wish I had played Phoenix, because Phoenix has a much, much better late game. I ended up posting it on Twitter. I played the 1/1 that exiles artifact for green. I'm playing 2 in the sideboard. I think that there's like enough matchups where that card just like doesn't have text that you don't really want to main deck it, but okay. I'm hoping that I'm gonna attack my opponent's Teferi and then like Archmage's Charm to steal this, and then I can Soul of Windgrace. I had a pretty similar experience, I think, that you did, Andrea, where I was like just scrambling and having difficulty in testing. Okay, so maybe I'm supposed to trade Soul of Windgrace for a Archmage's Charm here, because if I just like let them deluge, I have a second one to play next turn. It's tough. I feel like neither line is really winning. Every deck loses to Phoenix when I play Phoenix, I lost everyone. Yeah, it's so tough because I feel like there's so much like matchup variance, play draw variance, and Pioneer that like it's just like I found that people, when they were testing, they were kind of like put into one of three categories. They're like, I'm just gonna play mono green, and I'm not gonna worry too much about it because mono green's busted. It has a lot of new toys. I'm gonna play a deck that's really good against mono green and struggles a bit against everything else, and I'm gonna play something that's good against everything else, but struggles against mono green. And it's like those two camps of people. They're like, this is it. This is my deck. This is my deck. This is going to be the best deck for this tournament. And those people have this like attitude because they had some small run well, you know what I mean? They had like some degree of run well. And they like I 5-0'd a league with it. I'm feeling great. I'm feeling really good. I 5-0'd my league. And then they do some more testing, and then they're getting crushed, and they're like, what happened? I had 5-0'd my league. All right, I think the writing is on the wall here with double deluge in the yard here, Chalice on 1. Our hand being dead. Things get a lot better post board though. We get to bring in the Haywire Mites. We get to bring in some more Boseijus. We get to cut all this like dead removal. I think we're leaving in the Heat and the Bolts probably. I think I'm likely gonna cut the Mox Amber. Yeah, I agree. People that are super sure, they like ran hot for a little bit, and then they're like, I think in my experience, a lot of people who were super sure going into the weekend didn't leave the weekend that happy. The number of Boseiju is kind of weird. 3 feels like a solid number. It's the new Chalice, possible Rest in Peace Leyline Binding, plus the Haywire Mites. This seems fine. Yeah, Hall of Heliod's Generosity can put Saga on top. Very slow, though. Should a test be done in preliminaries and challenges? Oh, sorry, I missed the deck tech for Wayne. Wayne, if you post the link in chat, I can take a look. Did I test Kruger Fires? I did, yeah. I know, Kruger Fires, it's like when you're curving out, you're drawing your fires, you feel just like an absolute genius. You win the die roll, like your deck's just nuts. But that deck also stumbles a lot, you know what I mean? Oh, sorry, I was gonna say something. Oh, testing done prelims and challenges. The problem is like there's just like if you're only testing in prelims and challenges, your like number of matches that your playtesting goes way down. You know what I mean? You are like you can like maybe prioritize playing in those, but also like there was not even one challenge with Brothers War cards on Magic Online when for this tournament. So like, and there weren't that many prelims, so you just have to jam the leagues. Lotus Field beats Mono Green, now they cut Sphere. Lotus Field, yeah, that is true. Like now that Mono Green has been like trimming Sphere, I absolutely agree that Lotus Field was a great choice. Like Lotus Field is like phenomenally good against most of the field. Obviously, like if they like lose the die roll against aggro, don't have Grazer against aggro, it's pretty tough. But if they win the die roll against aggro, it's fine a lot of the time. And if they have Grazer against aggro, it's fine a lot of the time. Absolutely agree with that. In this Saga build, is Research Desk a clear upgrade over Spyro? Okay, Mishra's Research Desk and Spyro are not very comparable cards. You would compare Spyro to like Fable of the Mirror Breaker, you know what I mean? Research Desk is just a Saga target, but it is a very good Saga target. But this is also a deck that's wants to play Gigantha, and like, if it's the difference between play Fable of the Mirror Breaker and play Gigantha, I basically always just choose Gigantha. We played Needle in every sideboard deck. Yeah, Needle's really good. Needle's really good. It's tough. I definitely do want to play some Pioneer this week. Just, you know, share some thoughts I had from my testing. But I'm also like kind of burned out on the format. It's a format that I've been enjoying in small doses still. But it was a big dose this weekend. Do you prefer Jeskai or Team of Breach? I feel like I still kind of like the Gruul version. I don't know. It's like, I know that most people haven't adopted the Gruul version, but it's just like the curve is so low, and you have like a very similar amount of card advantage to like the rest of the builds. It just always feels so smooth. And also, like, so one thing too was like, the biggest issue with Gruul compared to the other variants was that Gruul was certainly like weaker against Graveyard Hate, but now that part is like not as true. Okay, this is like not correct, but how cool would it be if we got to Hall of Heliod's Generosity back Saga? This is the content line. And what's kind of what is good about this line is that it puts like a lot of pressure on them to like answer my creatures, and then I can maybe just ultimate the Wrenn and Six. Colin, again, thank you for the 23 months, and then thank you, Wayne. Thank you, Wayne. That's okay. So like what's cool about what was interesting about Gruul Breach was that it was weaker to Graveyard Hate than Jeskai or Temur, but with Haywire Mite that is like much less true now. Haywire, like having Haywire Mite and a bunch of Boseijus makes you like way more resilient. So I'm definitely excited to play some more Gruul Breach on stream. I haven't quite updated the list yet. There's obviously like a lot to do, but that'll hopefully be something we do this week. Mono White Death and Taxes with Heliod and Saga. Well, we played Mono White Heliod. I don't know. I don't feel like Saga necessarily is a great fit in Heliod, but we did play Mono White Heliod. Like in Heliod, you really want to play the white land that you fetch for. Idyllic Grange. That card is super important, and that card doesn't play very well with Saga. Okay, so you're splashing for Diabolic Intent. Okay, Diabolic Intent plus Iconoclast is interesting. If you're going to make it work, which is not a phrase I really like that much, but if you're going to make it work, make this work, what you need to do is play Oni Cult Anvil. Oni Cult Anvil plus Iconoclast, I think, would very likely give you enough enablers for like 2 copies of Diabolic Intent. Do I think that these 2 copies of Diabolic Intent are probably worth it? Probably not, no. I think that Breach is like what's so strong about Breach is you get to play like a good proactive game plan, a good like fair game plan, and you get to put a lot of pressure on your opponents, and then while you put pressure on your opponents, you're like always drawing to that, like, you know, in the game combo. And Diabolic Intent is a very slow card that like really does not help that game plan very much. That being said, it also just 4 Iconoclast as enablers that is not enough enablers in my opinion to want to play this card. I think that you're gonna need like a bit of like I think that like my general like rule of thumb for Intent is that you need like 8 enablers to play 4 or for 2 Intents, and then you need like 12 to play 4 and like 10 to play 3 is kind of like my current like deck building guide, and like that is kind of like that's just like a mental note, having not played much with the card yet, but that's kind of like where I'm at the moment. And fitting for Oni Cult Anvil in this deck, which would be a synergistic card, but it would be very difficult to do. You'd probably have to go down to like 1 Grinding Station, 1 Mox Amber, -1 Intent, and you know maybe you're cutting an Unholy Heat, maybe you're cutting a land. It would be not easy to do. So it's not something I recommend, but if this is something that you think is very good and something that you believe in, you know, that I do think that always has merit. TNC been flooded. I really hope this resolves so we can loot away a couple lands. No. There's also a way to turn on the Saga, because now, like, I want to play the... I guess I don't need to play the Power Conduit to recur the Saga because I have the Wrenn. Oh no, you're kidding. You're kidding. No. I should have a mountain left in the deck to fetch. I guess I didn't need to fetch because I'm just going to discard, actually. We're just thinning. Heliod's Generosity with Urza Saga and mono white decks and taxes. Isn't Heliod's Generosity like gain X life or destroy X artifacts enchantments? Is that the same card? Deserve and Sage Unit Triumphs. Not this turn because I need to make Saga tokens, but at some point, yeah. I think those are my main notes. I think those are my main notes on this deck. Oh, Heliod's Generosity. Sorry. Heliod's Generosity plus Urza Saga and mono white death and taxes. The thing about Heliod, Hall of Heliod's Generosity is it's like another land. Come on. Sorry, it's like, okay, should I needle this Flooded Strand? It's kind of greedy. But like, I kind of feel like they're planning to Solitude me this turn. I get to turn that off. I probably just need to Research Desk though. No, I think this is fine. Because I even get to pick up the Saga. What do you think was better to play this weekend at RCQ? I think Red Black is so bad against mono green. The matchup is like just laughable. I don't know. I like a Ginger is like a goat or whatever and is like very good at navigating, but just like all weekend, I'm just seeing Rakdos players getting clowned on by mono green. I was playing mono green and just clowning on Rakdos players. It's just like the matchup is so bad. Not anymore. Misery Shadows helped the matchup a lot. Dude, I've been seeing... listen, Misery Shadow... Like, Misery Shadow's an upgrade for the matchup. Mono Green also got a lot of crazy new tools. Mono Green got, like, the 8-mana, 8/8 trample. It got the untap card. Mono Green got a lot of... It is a more powerful deck now, you know what I mean? I really think the matchup is very bad for Rakdos. It's not that bad at all. I don't know what to tell y'all. Oh, sorry, I should have pulled the counter off the Saga. It's okay. We could just disagree, but it is just copium. I am of the opinion it's just copium. If you're like, I cannot believe we drew another land. Gosh. I cannot believe I've drawn like a land every single draw step this game. Extinction Event fishes the matchup pretty heavily. Y'all, Rakdos, game 1 against Rakdos is, for mono green, is incredibly favored for mono green. It's like 60 to 65%. Game 2 and 3 is closer to 50-50. This is textbook terrible matchup. This is just textbook terrible matchup. I would even say mono green is above 50% in games 2 and 3, but for like the sake of argument, the sake of having a conversation, we could, you know, say that that's not the case. That is true. We could have Power Conduit to save a token. We were busy arguing about, you know, nonsense stuff. Oh, we drew another land for turn. I literally can't believe we drew another land for turn. This is probably like the worst flood I've maybe experienced in my entire streaming career. I don't know. I've seen me flood worse. Maybe. I don't know. Have I drawn a single spell this game? I actually don't think I've drawn a single spell this game. This was my opening hand. No, I haven't drawn a single spell this game. Yeah, you can't count your gate. I didn't draw a single spell, I think, right? That's insane. That's actually insane. Yeah, why would I want to draw spells? Good question, actually. There's a spell. I mean, I think I'm just double Saga. I think I'm just double Saga. Why Boseiju Chalice over land? I have tons and tons of 1-drops in my deck. I'm gonna have to Boseiju it at some point, very likely. Okay, do I double Saga now to gain more life? I don't think so. I guess I should probably resolve a Fable of the Mirror Breaker now, though. Because they can't crack the strand, we have it needled. You know, loot two, basically draw 2. Thought you could just remove the counter from it. You can put counters on Chalice, you can't remove counters from Chalice. That was a good point, though. Could have made the Chalice in 3 or 4. I mean, I also have 2, 3, or 4s in my deck. I think you just use the mana, Boseiju the Chalice. You know what I mean? It's fine. Yeah, I'll get Nihil Spellbomb. They also have the Deluge. Definitely Spellbomb this turn. So where am I putting this counter? I guess it has to be on the construct. Wait, you're another land? Ah! We're gonna lose a Saga mana. I could make this token main phase potentially. Let me resolve the Fable trigger first, I guess. If I join Hive, I got the Aspiring Spike name. I don't know if I'm going to. Yeah, I'll post there if it becomes like more relevant, you know. I had the Team Rocket for Friday. Oh, hold on. Does the audio sound weird? I see that there's 2 audio channels. So I recorded my Channel Fireball video last night. Yeah, it was great to talk to everybody this weekend. I always love talking to all the Spikelings. It's great. Audio's fine. Okay, then I guess I'll just leave it on. Yeah, it should be fine. Sorry. I'll leave it on since they must have Dress Down, right? Maybe they're gonna. I guess they can't haul, cantrip, and Dress Down. Since like every time I have to record, I have to turn the track on. It's a little weird. Thanks 8% Archons. Yeah, of course, of course. Okay. So I think with these draws, I'm interested in just floating a mana here, especially because with like this long pause, it feels like my opponent has Dress Down. Oh yeah, we get 2 things though here. I guess I just get another research. I can put a Haywire Mite into play too. I think that's fine. What changes will make to is it Iconoclast or like the deck? That's our backup deck for today. I 4-1'd my next league with it. I also recorded a Channel Fireball YouTube video last night. But the current record is very good. Okay. I think I'm just gonna take a Solitude. I think I need to put them on the Verdict plan. Discard Indestructible is 3 mana. Okay, so we'll take one of the Solitudes. Play land. Yeah. Oh no, I have enough because I can attack with a Shaman. I can attack with a Shaman, I can get the Indestructible. So they can Solitude the Soul of Windgrace if they want, but I kind of think they're not that likely to. Yeah, but the Iconoclast deck, I'm currently 11-1 with it, so not really wanting to be making big changes to it at the moment. I'm 11-1 with the first draft, the exact same 75. Obviously, like you will always change deck lists somewhat, but I've been very happy with it so far. Is it ever correct to Solitude the Goblin to keep you off 3 mana? It would maybe be better to Solitude the Soul. I think there's a really good chance they're just not that familiar with playing against Soul of Windgrace. I would say that that's somewhat likely. Now their hand is just... Is Hall of the Storm Giants 2 Supreme Verdicts, right? Oh, sorry, I should have spellbombed them before they could flashback this Deluge. That was actually a punt. That was actually a punt. Do you ever add a stop to your own upkeep unless you want to Power Conduit your Saga the Mirror Breaker? Sometimes. I'm not going to do it this game, though. I'm just going to be still Sagging, I think. Well, I guess maybe with, I guess maybe with 2 Sagas I can do that this turn. And they have another Deluge in the yard, too. Yeah, should have cracked the Spellbomb already. That being said, they're also, like, not verdicting now. We're at a super high life total. No, we don't... I would Spellbomb and just not draw a card. Have I brewed Yotian Dissident with Animation Module? As they do a sort of Thopter sword... okay, what is... Yotian Dissident... Animation module. I mean, I think that I think I want to play Yotian Dissident in Scales, which would be the animation module deck, but it wouldn't really be a brew, you know what I mean? It would just be Yotian Dissident in Scales with maybe like another animation module, or still maybe just playing one as a Saga target to set it up. But also like you already get that effect a lot in the archetype. How do you feel about Unmarked Grave and Trash for Treasure decks? The thing about Unmarked Grave and Trash for Treasure decks is what's like the main thing about like the builds I've been playing is like you have I like that you have like a good, fair, grindy game plan. You have like a good, fair, grindy game plan with Fable and Ragavan and Saga and Engineer and Scrapwork Mud and Asmo. And then you kind of like incidentally have like this Trash for Treasure plan that complements it very well. When you're adding Unmarked Grave to the deck, you are really, really diluting that more fair game plan, and you're adding redundancy to the combo that you don't really need, where you have 4 Engineer and you have discard outlets, you know what I mean? I'm just not really of the opinion that you need more than that. My ability to find decks in my millions of lists is amazing. I mean, I'm just always in there, you know what I mean? It's... It's my career. I know where things is. Yeah, we can mite this. It depends on what they target, though. If you mite this in response to the trigger, then you get this doesn't exile the thing. 5-0 with Jun Saga. I remember Soul of Windgrace too slow. I've been like just nonstop really impressed by Soul of Windgrace, but like I don't know. You're gonna what did you like? Literally, what did you replace it with, right? Because like you're gonna say that you replaced it with Grist or Bloodbraid Elf or Seasoned Pyromancer, and like literally all of these cards are like just slow grindy cards also, you know what I mean? Literally any card you play Soul of Windgrace is another slow grindy card, and Soul is the best of the, in my opinion. I kept Goyf? Sure. That's fine. That is not a slow grindy card, that's fair. But again, it's also like these kind of like flex spots in John, you know, they are worth talking about, but they're also like I kind of want to discard the Ragavan. The lands are good with the Soul of Windgrace. These kind of like these conversations that like devolve into like, you know, what flex spots do you pick? They're not like, you know, they can be like not that productive, because like the conversation of like Goyf versus Soul versus Spyro versus Kolaghan's Command versus Grist, it's all like very, very narrow margins, you know what I mean? And a lot of it is just like, a lot of it always feels like it comes down to personal preference, it comes down to you know, deck building styles, and it doesn't always feel like there's much besides, this card felt slow, this card felt underwhelming. There's not a lot of like arguments with like more than I didn't like it when I played it. And it's because the margins are so close that there's really just like not much more you can say, you know what I mean? But the margins are definitely close. Okay, we're gonna Spellbomb them now. Okay, then. Wait, no, you didn't play Tarmogoyf over Soul of Windgrace, right? Are you playing Power Conduit too? So I could Haywire Mite my own Saga so they don't draw a card. I don't want to make a token because I know they have 2 verdicts in their hand. Well, I have a treasure token. I could just like make indestructible right now. Yeah, that's probably fine. Yeah, yeah. Our first 7 draws this game were literally all lands. I like trackers still a little Fable. So, I mean, Fable is very good with like the Power Conduit plan, but again, this is exactly. It's like I like this card. I like Grist. I like Tracker. I like. But this is also like the problem with Jund players. Y'all, the only thing y'all want to talk about is grindy 3 drops, grindy 3 and 4 drops. This is the only part of the deck that Jund players have like any interest in talking about. It's fine. It is. And I don't blame you. What's that be fabled? New cards from Brothers War, cut Tarmogoyfs, and we're also playing Power Conduit in the main. So, a lot of changes. Kahira into the hands. Maybe they have Third Solitude. Maybe they don't. They still have 2 verdicts. Their hand has 2 verdicts. Kahira, mystery card. I think if they had Solitude, they would Solitude the Soul already. And the land? I mean, it's an Urza Saga. Oh, none of the lands we drew at first were Urza Sagas, though, right? We had the Saga in our opening hand. I believe that none of those lands were Sagas. It's brutal. I think I'm just bolting a Solitude here to force the verdict. And it's basically like bolting them because it stops 3 life that they gain. And so then we play this Saga, and we can Soul of Windgrace activate and make a token. We could have attacked with Den. We don't win if we attack with Den because they're going to untap in Verdict, so I want to be able to make a Saga token and activate Soul of Windgrace. I think I drew 1 Saga putting at the hand. Maybe that's true. Maybe. It was wild, though. I like literally can't believe we're going to win this game. There's Verdant, Kahira, 2 mystery cards. Wait, Windgrace has activated abilities. Yeah, this card has been unreal this game. You really shouldn't point to a grindy 4 drop against blue-white control and be like, this card was nuts! But also, like, it's done more than, like, literally any other card would have. It's recurred Saga like 3 times. It's been indestructible in the face of Verdict. It's been crazy. And now it's been prismatic endinged. But we win, right? Their hand is Verdict Kahira. Actually, that soul was terrible. It got killed. The card was actually unplayable the whole time. I could crack the research desk. I think I just would rather have the artifact in play right now. Oh! Welcome back. I guess I'm not supposed to main phase this actually, since they have another verdict. But I mean, I just know my opponent's exact hand. Duck for Quinsiver. Post a link in the chat, I can take a look. Looking in Exile Zone for Kahira? Yeah. But I'm working on like a green-white version with Elvish Reclaimer and Flagstones. So the thing about Titania is like you really have to play Elvish Reclaimer, I think, to find your bear land. And if you're gonna like kind of be forced to do that or whatever, hold on. Then sorry, if you're going to like be priced into playing Reclaimer, like powering up Reclaimer with Flagstones is making a lot of sense to me. And so like I'm trying to find the best direction to go in. Like I think that you just want to be a more lands matter type shell with like Dryad, Coco, Eldarmor's Call, Titania, and like kind of like Fran's old Reclaimer Titan lists. But I'm still working on it. Was I overall happy with the coverage of DreamHack Atlanta? Yes. It's like it was. I'm sure it wasn't perfect. I didn't get to watch very much of it, but I'm friends with Honorog, who handled the coverage, and y'all have like no idea how hard this man works, how hard this man works to make it happen, and it's also like he has such little support from Wizards, and he has such little support from the community, honestly, and he's just been like before this event too, just going to Star City games in Vegas and events, doing guerrilla coverage by himself with a very expensive setup, flying himself out for the love of the game because the community needs some paper coverage. You know what I mean? And this weekend was a little bit more high production value. Honorog put a ton of work in. There was some like issues with DreamHack, like they lost the Wi-Fi for a little bit, but he had backup matches prepped and ready to go in the event like something like that happened. An absolute pro. An absolute pro. I'm not going to cast another spell this game. I think I'm just going to be activating Sagas and activating Shadowspear. So let me cast the Fable. I can block the token here too if they don't have Searing Blaze. Yeah, Honor's also really nice. I ate dinner with him all 3 nights. I basically always like whenever we're at an event together, we usually hang out the whole weekend. Honorog is great. I love the guy so much. He is like one of our community's most precious members. We should all cradle him like a beautiful, beautiful child. I honestly I don't know what Honorog could have possibly done better. He handled everything so well. There was an issue with DreamHack's Wi-Fi cutting out, and why did this happen? Because DreamHack doesn't care about Magic. You know what I mean? DreamHack does not care about Magic. They like their esports. They like their flashy e-celebrities. They don't care about the Magic the Gathering players. Ooh. Don't mind if I do. Natty Shadowspear on a Ragavan. No, don't worry, Hero. I do not blame you at all. Can Rakdos add 4 feed the swarm to the sideboard? Paladin, who hurt you? Paladin, can Rakdos add 4 feed the swarm to the sideboard? Who hurt you, Paladin? What happened? Talk to us. This is a safe place. It's okay. Just tell me what happened. We'll find whatever enchantment player this is, and we'll deal with them. We'll deal with them. Is Lucy with Esther? I think so. Esther is sleeping in again today. She just got the week off, so she's been sleeping in a lot. The amount of enchantment hate can't be all bad. So, I think if you want enchantment hate in Rakdos, it would be better to, just splash white or green for Haywire Mite or Wear Tear, and play more efficient, more powerful Enchantment Hate than play Feed the Swarm, which is a pretty like weak card. It's like really bad to Feed the Swarm a Leyline Binding, you know, you take 6 damage. Yeah. Okay, up a game against Burn. Let's bring in the Mites. Bring in the Spellbombs. Cut the Thoughtseizes. Cut the Nihil Spellbomb. Cut second Research Desk. Bring in second Boseiju is fine. Probably don't want, with the Mites, you don't need too many more than that, I guess. Although maybe just like an extra like Painless Land is better than our other options. For Turok is just so hard to like cast without taking a ton of damage. Otherwise, it would be like fine to play. Back to nature, yeah, back to nature, yeah. Want to see if you're gonna go to Artist Cruise this hardest season as did the last one. No, I don't think so. Like I will be definitely still going to some, but like for me at least, like when I'm doing a lot of traveling to events, like so like in the last few months, I flew to the Professor to do a YouTube video, which should be out at some point. I keep seeing, I've seen a few bits and pieces of it so far. It's still in production. So I flew to the Professor to do that video. Andrea flew here for SCG Dallas. I went to Vegas. I went to Atlanta, all in the span of a few months. And like these events are like very, very draining for me. I'm not as young as I used to be, I guess, but it's also true like. I have to play a lot of catch up for the stream too, and for Channel Fireball when I like, you know, host Andrea, or you know, when I take this time off, I fall back behind on the stream, and so it's very difficult to like to do that, and then also do RCQs, which require a day off of like, you know, content work too. So I will be playing some, but like these seasons where I'm doing a lot of like, you know, travel and meeting people, talking to people, whatever, I do think that is going to be less RCQs for me. Do I have infinite money? I don't have infinite money, no. I recently just bought a social media platform for 44 billion, and I'm hurting right now. Had to raise the price of deck techs. Whoa, post-combat Swiftspear. I can't help but feel like somebody leveled themselves. Yeah, if anybody wants to hand out the infinite money cheat code to me, I'll read it. Be born rich. That's the cheat code? Be born rich. Game Wizard, 3 months ago, thank you. Took a second to Pioneer 10k with mono green. I can't tell if the deck is really good or good matchups like into Phoenix mono green. What do I take? I don't know. It's very tough. Like this. So like for me, I feel like the level that most players were at, it was like there is definitely in Pioneer. There's a lot of like hitting your good matchups is, it feels to me like a huge part of the format. Yes. Where it's like there are decks that are good against green, so they want to play against green. There are decks that are not good against green, so they want to play against everything but green. And then green like wants to play against those decks. You know what I mean? And obviously, but it's also true. You can win your bad matchups. You can leverage your skill, win your bad matchups. You can get lucky, win your bad matchups. Win the die roll, win your bad matchups. So it's a combination of all those things. You know what I mean? My queue for next RC? No, I'm not. I haven't really been playing many this season. I think I've played like 1, maybe 2. No, I played 2. That's your basis working curving out. Yeah, didn't I fetch? I drew one of them fetch for 2, right? Was it my favorite Magic event that I've traveled for in the past year? Well, it wasn't one that I actually traveled for, but SCG Dallas this year was probably the most fun I've had. Where I got to hang out with Andrea. I had a really awesome, like, good deep run in the tournament with like a fresh brew, the green red breach deck. I was feeling great about it. I like narrowly missed top 8 after losing like a couple win-ins, but I had a good deep run. It was really cool. I got to come home instead of to a hotel or Airbnb. I guess it wasn't travel, I guess. I don't know. I would say Atlanta and Vegas were both about even. I did walk away from Vegas with this cool jacket and some Legends packs, though, and I kind of walked away from Atlanta with some memories and having to call the police only once. Only had to call the police one time while I was in Atlanta. I told the story yesterday. There was like a college kid who was high on shrooms and like forced his way into one of our Ubers and then ran out of the Uber and then ran down the street and forced his way into like a stranger's car and like slammed on the gas, and the cops didn't charge him with anything, which was good, and they got him to a hospital, which was good, but it took a while of standing out in the cold Atlanta to get it taken care of. Okay, I'm actually gonna not play Giganta this turn, since I know they have Searing Blaze, and I want to be able to ultimate this Wrenn and Six. I think Inquisition the Searing Blaze, I think. Yeah, I told the whole story yesterday. It's like at the beginning of the stream if y'all want to hear it. I was, Hitachi, Guilty Gear streamer Hitachi he was an absolute pro, did a really good job talking to the guy, get him to calm down. It was all good. I didn't play a land because I'm about to ultimate Wrenn and Six, so I want to keep these for Wrenn and Six spells. Yeah, Hitachi's great. Yeah, so the kid, he opened the backseat of this car. There's a couple sitting in the front car. He like slid into where the woman was sitting in the driver's seat. And she like freaks out, obviously, because there's like this stranger jumping in the car, and he like slams on the gas, but thankfully the car's in park. And then the man grabs the keys, throws it to his wife, and thankfully that was all like very fast thinking. And then he and Hitachi were talking the guy down while I was on the phone with the cops. And it was the first time I've ever seen cops not just like walk in ready to charge somebody with something. They're very relaxed, and then they didn't take a statement. The lady like said she didn't want to press charges, and they just got him in the ambulance, which was good. Okay, I could push this now. I could also wait. It's a good chance I might just play Giganta. Yeah, most normal day in Atlanta. They were sus, they were. But yeah. Not an unreasonable assumption. Okay, 2-0, 2-0. Okay, up against Kahira again. We're 2-0. This was a good matchup. Good hand against Kahira too. Yeah, press Y to help. It was just exactly like that. It was so wild. Okay, I think I'll get Overgrown Tomb to play Mountain next turn. Yeah, Soju sneaks up on you. Yeah, I woke up really hungover, but I had to get to the airport, and so it took. I don't know what is going on in Atlanta either, but it takes so long to get through security. The line, it's always Atlanta takes so long, so I'm just like, I needed to get through so I could get some freaking coffee and Powerade. It took so long. Oh man. And I was fighting for my life in the Atlanta airport bathroom, which was a character building experience. Yeah, the airport it is really huge. It is really huge. Okay, so I was going through the Atlanta airport, and I was asking I asked there was like the TSA pre-check line. I was like, hey, where's the general boarding line? And he's like, okay, it's over there. But if you give me that jacket, I'll let you through the TSA line. If you give me that jacket, the Magic 30 dragon on the back jacket, I'll let you through this line. I said, no deal. No way. Was the soju flavored? I ordered non-flavored soju because I usually prefer it, but then they ordered some like peach flavored, I think. Yeah, TSA corruption, huh? Oh man, it would have been awesome to see Donald Glover. I'm a huge fan. But no, we had a conflicting schedules. I love opening a Spike stream and seeing Power Conduit in his hand. Can't tell if I'm being roasted right now. Where'd I get the jacket? It was a Magic 30. Magic 30. I guess I could have pulled a counter off the Wrenn and put it on the Chalice. Can still do that. It was also very nice to meet you, Jesse, in Vegas. It was very cool to finally say hi. At all these Magic tournaments, I'm always like, man, it'd be so cool to meet, you know, meet these people here. And at Vegas, I didn't like meet anybody new. And so this time, I was like, I'm gonna make it a point for these tournaments that I'm going to meet one person. I'm gonna pick a person. I'm gonna meet them. And this time it was you, Jesse. And I got to meet you. It was awesome. I also got to meet Huey. I got to meet Autumn, which is, you know, incidental value. I don't think I'm putting the counter on the Chalice right now, but if they like flash in their Solitude end of turn for pressure, I might. Still leaving the Triumph in the deck for future cycles. Although, running out of fetchables. I guess I don't have that many 2-drops left in the deck. I have 2 Terminates, 2 Wrenn, 1 Power Conduit left. I do think they're gonna play the Solitude if they don't have anything else. Okay, so let's go. Remove a counter from the Wrenn, put it on the Chalice, bolt the Solitude. And then this turns off, you know, their counter spells at least. Anything else? Revenge, you was 7 months, appreciate ya. And we don't have to go to discard. Their hand is still a Solitude and 2 mystery cards. So I don't know that I can afford to activate Din or Gigantha. You know, we have Thoughtseize in the deck, and then they're also like somewhat likely to like still just put the Solitude into play to pressure they're in. You know, another match against Blue-White Control, another Teensy Weensy Mana Flood, huh? Any plans to play Team of Breach with Iconoclast? Maybe. So like I've been really liking Iconoclast in like the non-Breach version. I'm like 11-1 with that list right now, which is crazy. I'm really liking that list at the moment. That being said, you know, I think Iconoclast is like a really good, like really like sweet fit in Breach, and I will like play it at some point. But also like that is a deck a lot of other people I think are working on, and I don't feel like the community needs as much focus on it, if that makes sense. Yeah, no more fetchables, baby. No more fetchables. Ooh, that's a good one. Does it count as flood if I've only drawn 2 or 3 lands? I've drawn more than that for sure, right? I know sometimes it feels like that. I think I drew this Fatal Push and this Lightning Bolt. I think 4 of my other draws were lands. Or 3 if I was on the draw 4, if I was on the play 3. Oh boy. Okay, so hand a Solitude Mystery card would be not the worst time for a Boseiju. Just want to obviously just want to still draw lands. Okay, Soul of Windgrace. This is, you know, going to die to Solitude, but oh man, I don't even have any fetchables left. Man, Soul sucks, I guess. Mishra's Command? Did I say Mishra's Command? Why are we talking about Mishra's Command? Tashi, it is Tuesday. Why Power Conduit in the list? We're trying to give our opponent a chance. It's good with Fable and Urza Saga. You have 8 of those, and you have I don't think there's. Is there any reason to put any of these into play? Not really. Not much reason not to, though. Seismic Assault. Ah, you lose Giganta, though. The hand is. I guess this Deluge of the Yard is going to be what they do this turn. Whoa, they forgot about Deluge. Okay, nobody tell them. Nobody tell them. It's probably better to Den. Alright, Chalice 2. I guess the red doesn't do anything anyways at the moment. Yeah, if we discard a real land, then we played our Soul of Windgrace out, huh? They drew land for turn, so if they continue to forget about their Deluge, we're good. Although it looks like they have recalled now. Why would they put Giganta or Kihira in their hand last turn? I guess I just remembered. Okay, I'll probably concede to them casting the Deluge, but let's make sure they actually remember. It's okay, like just like, you know, match 1 today. Game 1 is really tough because you have all these removal spells, but the matchup becomes really good in sideboard games. I think we saw that effect earlier. I guess we play it out. You know, I can push this token and I can Shadowspear the Giganta to keep Solitude up. They had the Solitude up though. They just passed with 8 mana up, and they cast either Deluge or Solitude, whichever one they need. Okay. Trying to remember exactly how I sideboarded last time. I left in the bolts and the heats. I cut the terminates, the pushes, the Mamber, and the Shadowspear. I guess we were up to 26 lands post board. Remember we flooded out so bad last time. That's fine. Got flood insurance. Why was that a concession? I had no resources. My opponent had a 6/6 Shark and a Solitude and another Deluge card. Maybe I wasn't like literally dead, but it did not seem like a game I could realistically draw out of. Great hand. Yeah, I just wanted me to sit and take infinite psychic damage. Yeah, if we weren't done on board, we were going down to like 3 life, and they're gonna have like 3 lethal attackers next turn with the Kihira, the Solitude, and the 6/6 Shark. I have like literally no outs actually, even if I'm not like technically done on board that turn. Alright, pretty easy. Take the binding. Gonna get a Triumph here. Don't want to use my treasure. I'd like to potentially kick Turok next turn. Maybe cast Soul of Windgrace instead. Get that ramp. We'll see what happens. See what they draw. Obviously, if they draw an answer for Ragavan, we'll hear about it. We're getting competitive Soul of Windgrace aggro loam for Commander. I don't think I have too many thoughts on that question, I guess. You know, if you're going to brew in a format, if you're going to try to work on a format, you have to play it, and I play Commander very, very casually at the moment. I don't play it enough to offer any competitive insights. Did you counterspell? No. Any epic breakthroughs with spreading algae? I started to like put it together, and like I just couldn't like, so like for spreading algae you have to find your Erdborg, which isn't that hard, and you have to find your algae, and then you have to play like Dockhand Fire Ice and stuff. And like I was having a hard time finding, like I really wanted a good way to tutor the algae, and so I was like, I don't know. I was starting to look at Heliod's Pilgrim last night, and I was like, maybe I'll just like not get this lost in the sauce tonight. But I will continue to look at it. There's new set release still, so lots to be doing. So they have a verdict. And so if I kick this Turok, I have a 1 in 3 chance of discarding that Supreme Verdict. If I had a land in my hand to discard to Soul of Windgrace, it's probably like an easy do nothing here. But I think I do this, and they draw the white source for Verdict. Oh, they have the planes. Okay, we got it. Awesome. Easy. Yeah, Pilgrim is so bad, so I'd imagine it's difficult. Yeah, exactly. So like if you're just so built around the algae, it's like, and being built around a 1-mana card, you need to find it early. And so like maybe this is like the kind of brew that like one day there's like a really good way to tutor up a 1-mana aura, but I couldn't really find a great way to do it last night. Okay, I think I like my sideboard plan still. Let's go to game 3. Enlightened Tutor, not a legal card, but yeah, Light Pulse doesn't work. Such a unique card too. You don't get any redundancy for it. Okay, hard to mulligan a hand that has Thoughtseize and a castable Turok on turn 4. Taya, 5 months ago, thank you. Why does Hammer feel super bad position in Modern right now? I said this like in my... I wrote an article for Channel Fireball. I don't know if it's been posted, but... there's a new artifact set that's released. Because there's a new artifact set that just came out, there's going to be a lot of... Casting Thoughtseize here is bad if I draw exactly Wrenn. I think that's okay, though. I also think I want to take both Dress Downs, because my plan here is Turok. There's a new set that just came out that's built around artifacts. Because of this, people are playing more artifact hate. Also, Haywire Mite just got printed, which is really good against Hammer. But people play more artifact hate when like there's more artifact brews going on, and that is, in my opinion, the dynamic you're experiencing at the moment. I have to take the Charm. So maybe I can set up for a turn where I kick Turok and then Boseiju Dress Down. 6 mana though. Yeah, they also just printed Binding, just printed Haywire Mite, so that's, also like a big part of the dynamic. Yeah, it's also like, it's not like you can't play Hammer, I should say. Hammer Time is not, it's not like the deck is super bad or anything, but if you're feeling like it's less well positioned, that would be my guess why. Okay, let's get a Blood Crypt and Bolted Teferi. Ragavan was a nice draw. 5-mana Turok's legendary. I mean, but if we're Boseijuing Dress Down, then we don't get the Dress Down. We don't get the Turok trigger if we try to channel it for 1 mana. That doesn't work. Zerg for Algae, dude, that was my tech. That was like the direction I started to go, and I wanted to keep it like a little, like maybe this is like this was like what I was gonna keep working on. But yeah, I also like, I don't know, it wasn't that good. But yeah, Zerfralgy was it kind of seemed like the most promising thing. I think I don't feel like I want to Needle yet, because I might Needle Hall, I might Needle Teferi. They've already played one Teferi. Couldn't you just shove coffers in it for value? That's kind of interesting. Play Spreading Algae and coffers. It's kind of slow and clunky in a deck that is already slow and clunky. Flame Blitz? Wow. Yeah, the old Urza Saga deck, huh? What is the aspect of the game I like the most? Yelling at my Twitch chat, probably. There's a lot of things to like. I mean, I like building decks is probably my favorite thing, but you can make a good case for spreading. Like spreading, like this is maybe like a little bit vague, but like just being able to spread ideas and talk to people about Magic is I really like just, you know, discussing strategy. This is why I do it all day, every day. Well, Fable would have been better into the Solitude, I guess. And it's still dressed down. Now 2 mystery cards. If I draw a untapped land, I can kick Turok, Boseiju the dress down. Wait, I watched Trellon play a lot of Spreading Algae and coffers. Never looks good, but he seems to like it. I will say that that's very Trellon. This card looks terrible the whole time, but he's like, I like this card. Of course Trellon's already done it. I would love to see a draft. Well, yes. Oh, dude, they did not read this card. They did that. I don't. There's no chance that they know that this is a symmetrical effect, right? That's funny. I also didn't realize. Wafu plays a Flame Blitz. Why? You're a Teferi deck. You play Planeswalkers. Just play Pithing Needle! Literally just play Pithing Needle, blue-white players. I've been playing a Needle in blue-white, and I love it. It's so good. Just bringing it against every Wrenn and Six deck. The first copy is really good. Doesn't play Big Teferi. You still play Little Teferi. Just literally play Pithing Needle, please. I'm begging you. Pithing Needle, you can still get 1 activation with Wrenn and Six against Flame Blitz as well. You know what I mean? Please, I beg you, chat. You play Pithing Needle. Hall buys back Flame Blitz. Alright, I give up. I was mixing up Algae with Thornburn Blights. I'm sorry. Don't let it happen again! Don't ever let it happen again. Spike, you said something once is very true. Blue White is defined whatever Wafu plays last Sunday. Yeah, it's definitely true. It's absolutely true. I wouldn't lie to y'all. Okay, so I can just pick up the Boseiju back up here, so I'm just gonna loot it away for the value. Ooh. Huh. So I would really like to play Power Conduit this turn. That being said, I think it's probably still better to... Oh, Power Conduit seems so good here, though. Because I want to kick Turok and then Boseiju the dress down. It's just like such a good moment to do that. The other line is to play Power Conduit, play Haywire Mite, put a counter on the Mite, block the Solitude. That also seems pretty good. I think I'm gonna do this. It's somewhat close. Red Boseiju loop. People always say this, like, hey, Spike, right now, why don't you loop Boseiju with Wrenn and Six? It's like, that's gonna take many turns. It's gonna take many turns, and they will still have, like, you know, 5 lands in play at the end of all this. But it's, people are they're so thirsty for it They're so thirsty for the Wrenn and Six Boseiju loop. What makes Haywire Mite better than alternatives? It's tutorable with Urza Saga. Please target Fable. Please target Fable. Okay, that's fine, I guess. It's a meme. Yeah. It was funny. It was definitely funny. But it's just, I don't know. Chat is always they're so thirsty for Boseiju the land spike. Just like they can't have that many. I can't have that many lands. Come on, just a little bit. Just a little bit. They didn't play Kihira. Togo, thank you for the raid. Appreciate you. Hope you're doing well today. Hope you're doing swell today. Welcome, everybody. Been playing against a lot of blue-white control today. So I think here I'm just going to attack the Teferi, play Power Conduit, play Haywire Mite, and we may be able to copy Haywire Mite with Reflection, kill the Binding, kill the Rend. If not, we could just kill the Binding, but... Or get back the Rend. But I don't want to get back the Rend now because they're just going to be able to play Kihira, buff the Solitude, attack the Rend. You should have let Turok resolve, then Boseiju. If I let the Turok resolve, then Boseiju, the Turok does not trigger because there's a dress down in play. I have to Boseiju on the stack. Oh wow, they counterspelled that. Okay. So if they attack with the Solitude, I could peel a counter off the Turok and put it on the Reflection to block. Which would be fine, but I think it's just better to leave the Turok back to block for a bit since I'm like just not racing anymore. Maybe I could be racing if I took this line, but I don't have that much to copy in the deck either, is true. Alright, let's see how many lands you got, opponent. Day, 25 months, thank you. Was it worth waiting for the draw for Just Resolve before doing the Boseiju? I can't imagine it matters very much, but I guess yes, you should have. Let them potentially draw not a land, right? Alright, we're looping it, chat. We're doing it. I mean, this is like a real thing, you know. It's not too bad. Oh, if they have a freaking Shark Typhoon or a Deluge, it's pretty bad, though. Oh, Wrenn is also another source of counters for Power Conduit. Hull is currently Pithing Needled. Oh, dang it! Sorry, I thought I had my audios turned off in time. Obviously, needed to Power Conduit there. Not the end of the world to not have a counter on this, I guess. Okay, Saga's nice. Nice pickup. Don't like that they can flash back their Deluge, though. Brad, thank you for the 8 months. Have I tried Shape a New Portal for Exia decks? Give it any thought? I've been giving it a thought. Like, I've seen people, like, want to put it in Elementals, which is fine. I'm trying to find a better place for it, though, and so I will get back to you. I've been kind of, I've honestly, like, I started to try to put it in Yawgmoth because you're like a creature deck that can play a lot of forests, but you have too many 4-drops. It wasn't very good. And then I was like trying to think about it in Cascade decks, but the problem is Starless Agent is an artifact. Got some good top decks still. Mostly Soul of Windgrace, I guess. Not sure what my opponent's really pausing here for. Maybe they're thinking they should have targeted the Needle. Oh, but also, like, I think that... Oh, wait, they did target the needle. Oh, so I thought they targeted this. I thought I saw this target here. Okay. Yeah, that is... I thought this target had already gone on the stack. That makes sense. That's gonna be a problem, though. Okay. Need this to resolve. Dang it. Now we're kind of boned, I guess. We'll see, we'll see. Game-based mono white artifact? Not at the moment. We'll play some more of the archetype, though. Alright, it's pretty good pickup, actually, especially with the Fable in play. Or the Power Conduit in play. Not, like, super likely to be enough to keep me alive just yet. If only there had been some way to prevent this. Oh, so having Boseiju the Hall earlier? Yeah, maybe that was better. Yeah. I also, like, felt like at the time we were going to be able to... Okay, hold on. So... I go up to 10, block here. Yeah, I think I have to take a counter off the Turok, put a counter here, so this way I am gaining 3, and I can block the Solitude with my Turok and go to 1. If they fire up the hall and attack with everything. I can also peel a Power Conduit to make a token every single turn. Which I think this is actually correct to do. Just keep making tokens to jump block the hall. Since, like, I really need to draw blockers. Maybe next turn I'll do something else. Draw, but I guess I had a lot of outs, huh? Supreme Verdict Solitude. I guess I'm just dead, right? Actually, I'm just dead. They just do the same thing they did last turn. They Solitude the Shaman, and I block the hall and I die now. Mongoose for 2 months, thank you. And deck tech for Avian. Let me see what we would have drawn. So we would have drawn Saga, Unholy Heat. So we would have been chump blocking with the Turok this turn, but we would have been alive, and then we'd have Saga Power Conduit. Maybe that was the winning line. Although they would have had Dress Down for the Saga, because they wouldn't have Inquisitioned. Kind of a weird hand. I might keep this on the draws. I would like it more in the play. Turok on the side. It should be in the main deck. It should be in the main deck. More Howl Fountain decks, huh? Okay, I don't know what this is supposed to be. I think I'm just casting Ragavan. Could be fine to do something else here. Fix the mana base. I'm not going to get too deep in that. I feel like a Murderous Cut would be pretty good too. I kind of like the idea of, you know, cut the trophy, play a Bloodstained Thirst, also get a Murderous Cut in here. Scavenging Goose sucks. I know. Even here it sucks. You need to play a Turok. Don't play Bloodstained Harvester. That card's garbage and just like not nearly good enough. Does seem like a perfect definitive deck. Okay, it should, yeah, Mire's instead. That makes sense. That makes sense. Wow, hit Colony Garden. Oh, are they? If they're playing Garden, they must be Glimpse combo, right? So I do think I need to go ping the Risen Reef, attack with Ragavan. And if they, I think they're gonna almost definitely gonna jump, but I'll Thoughtseize if they don't. Yeah, that was a pretty good hit for them, the Garden. Okay, they're furying my Ragavan and Wrenn. Ruby Tuesday, 2 months ago, thank you. Not sure what I'm doing here. I feel like a Saga token isn't doing a ton on this board. I think I'm going to grab a research desk. Thoughtseize my opponent, and then decide if I need to remove something, which I probably don't. I can probably wait. Yeah, I can just take the Charlotte's Agent, play Fable, Bolt the Fury, and Unholy Heat the Omnath. Next turn, take 6. Ruby Tuesday with the 2 months, and Aaron with the 10. Thank you. Yeah, I agree that it is cool that you can run 4 Saga in a Luchu deck. I do think that is neat for sure. Also, like both without 4 Wrenn and 6s, your Sagas are not as good. I know you have 1 Life from the Loam, but your Sagas are also not as good. Oh, you should probably be playing an Elvish Reclaimer actually. Yeah, play a Reclaimer. Definitely get Harvester and Ooze out of there. Okay, so I think I'm just now. I'm gonna keep the Soul of Windgrace. We'll discard just the Fable. Okay, I guess I should have discarded Soul of Windgrace, huh? Guess let's pop the research desk with this mana. Another research desk or a Boseiju. Let's take the land for turn. Ajax, thank you for your Twitch Prime. Appreciate you. Welcome back. And Huevos with the 11, thank you. I'm just like, we're gonna be 2. Inferno with 23. Got my buddy's side. Got his Winter Strike sign. But yeah, very cool. Remember that person. Definitely say hi next time if you feel like it. Yeah, I agree. I haven't seen Glimpse in a long time. It was definitely like very popular for a little bit recently. Is Fable in here over Tracker? Yes. Playing Gloves and Paper seems miserable. It's actually, I think, not as bad as you might expect from what I've seen. Alright, firmly expect to die here. Firmly expect to die. I mean, this is not so good for me, but not dead. Definitively not dead. They have Colony Garden, so they can get more permanence in place for their Glimpse combo. Oh boy. All 3 in a row, huh? Alright, Soul of Windgrace, if you could just solo this board state for me, that would be great. Glimpse seems like a good show for Portal. The problem is Charlotte's Agent is an artifact. But it is true that like the cards you cascade into and Gingerbread Cabin are both pretty synergistic. So I agree. I agree. So it's probably not that difficult even to just play Ardent Plea instead. Bearded Caveman with the 2 months. Thank you. That actually sounds really interesting. Do you ever set out 1 Ragavan draw? Yeah, sometimes. Not like... so, like, one thing about Modern is, like, every deck is really, really unique and interesting. It's not, like... There's just, like, not, like, mini matchups where... Or the format, it does not have the dynamics such that you... are gonna be like, yeah, I just always do this in the draw. I always do this or that on the draw, if that makes sense. Where... Every matchup, I think, is very unique, very interesting, very dissimilar. It's kind of like very different to Pioneer, where a lot of decks just play like what I've kind of referred to as like standard Magic, like standard power level Magic. You know, just like you play creatures, you turn them sideways, you play removal spells. Decks in Modern are usually like, you know, wild.
I need to try to clip Lucy's nails, because look what she did to me.
Oh no. Maybe you could take her to see someone if you don't want to do it too. Any consideration of trading Soul for Fury last turn? That was actually probably correct because of the whole 3 souls in hand home. TW 25 months, thank you. As a Glimpse pilot, I'd rather cut Outburst for plea than Shardless for plea. Well, you have to cut okay, one Outburst is instant speed, so I don't even know if I could agree with that, but you like this is an artifact, so you have to cut the artifact if you're gonna cut something. But that does actually seem kind of interesting. We might try to put it together on stream. Actually seems like just cutting agent for please, very smooth. Alright, I think I go to 1, but we are effectively dead here. Okay, I'm gonna bring in the Void Mirror, Turok. I just mean in terms of incentives of the deck, you want a high density of permanence. Sure. I just feel like the instant speed violent outburst force mitigation is so valuable, but it's also like probably true that I have a big bias towards that, right? Since I am a dirty blue player. So like my brain is like, why would you ever want to not play violent outburst? That card is stupid. I may be supposed to play Haywire Mite because of Leyline Binding too. So you make Glimpse much worse when you add Shape Anew. I don't know why you are under the impression you make Glimpse much worse when you add Shape Anew. I think you really need Ragavan in turn 1 in this matchup too, or like your one of Void Mirror. Okay. But it's like what's cool about adding Gingerbread Cabin plus Shape Anew in this deck is that Gingerbread Cabin is really good with Glimpse because it's just passively putting permanence into play. And so the two plans overlap really well, and also Glimpse puts big permanence into play, so if you possess Portal off of your Glimpse, like that's not a bad hit either. So I think there's a lot of like interesting overlap. You could even potentially, you know, you could like just not be in on like the Risen Reef Elementals plan too. You know, you could be a bit more like big Glimpse too. See a previous comment about adding instant sorceries and making Glimpse worse. Okay, sure, the card Shape Anew. That's fine, that's fair. Yeah, you would have to like not be like value Glimpse. You'd have to like you would play like Leyline Binding, big, and then like big artifacts to put into play, and then like you maybe just have to put like a bunch of big giant permanents in the deck too, which is something you can do. Ooh, what if you play Search for Tomorrow? So you can turn 4 turn 3 Shape Anew. Is that good? That might be good. Might be good enough. I'm gonna kick the Turok. Play Graze over Search? You can't because you're a Cascade deck. You're a Glimpse deck. So that's why you play Search. Oh yeah, sorry, the Suspend Mana Dork. Yeah, I forgot that card exists. Yeah. Yeah? Yeah? That card is also Suspend too, right? No, but Search puts the land into play. Search puts a land into play so that you can Search puts an actual land into play, which is the important thing. So you can actually cast your Shape Anew. And I don't know, like you would have to be like kind of all in combo. But if you're all in combo, you probably don't need the Shape Anews, you know what I mean? Like, it's like you're just kind of better being in on the Glimpses instead, is very likely would be like the dynamic. Loft, 8 months, thank you. Yeah, yeah. You also get artifacts from Fable Wave Sifter. I do really think like the synergy between Gingerbread Cabin is very interesting. The creature of haste becomes also spin. Yeah, but you need the ramp spell to put a land into play if you're trying to shape anew an artifact. Yeah, but I don't know. Maybe that's better put in a different shell. You know what I mean? The Karn build where you wish for Shardless. Yeah. Could do that. Have I tricked you with one of the multiverse yet? Not yet. I want to do a Pioneer Day this week, either tomorrow or Friday. I'm taking Thursday off for Thanksgiving, so we'll see. Okay, they're dead if this is all they have because I have the bolt. Shape a new Gingerbread Cabin. Yeah. Okay. Shape a new Bolas the Citadel, lose to Binding. So like the thing about Shape Anew into Bolas the Citadel, I've seen it done. The thing is like it's just so fragile, it's slow compared to other combo decks, and you have to play a bunch of terrible cards. And you like don't win on the spot most of the time. It's just like not a good place to be really. Right, let me play one Haywire Mite. I'll play it over the Spellbomb. Maybe I want to Terminate over like third Windgrace too. Yeah, and you can't play any artifacts either. Okay, that's pretty good. We can Haywire Mite the ley line potentially. Do you still think we want a Ragavan on turn 1 though? Yeah, this is 2 hours into League 1. We played against Control twice. Okay, so let's hold up Terminate for a possible endurance here before we attack. Just thinking of broken artifacts, Great Hinge comes to mind. Well, Shape Anew is not a good way to cheat the Great Hinge into play. What's the stream schedule look like this week? Normal stream, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, possible weekend tournament stream too. Oh, I guess I should have let this trigger resolve first. Which means no wicked stream. We'll see. I mean, it's just tough. Like I'm still pretty tired from the Atlanta trip. You know what I mean? But I will genuinely try. I will genuinely try. But we'll see. Okay. So hoping that they would wait a turn and I could Haywire Mite delay line, get them. Okay. Omnath, billion triggers. Yeah, I agree. If you're doing Cabin Shape Anew, you want creatures, which is why I think part of the reason why Glimpse is like interesting. I agree. So like, and people want to play it in Elementals, but I've just kind of been looking for like other creature focused strategies that are green based. There's really like not that many. Not that many. Outside of live, how much time goes into consecration average on weekly basis? Excuse me. I mean, it all depends, but between like the regular stream, channel fireball, contract stuff, off stream prep, emailing people and stuff, it's like between like 60 and 70 hours a week, although closer to 60 now that I've like scaled back on channel fireball. Tough matchup for sure. It's alright, 2-0 to 2-2, big bummer. Elves, Cabin, Shape Anew, huh? Yeah, big drama, huh? Okay, I hope to get to play a turn 2 Fable, huh? It doesn't seem like it's been a year since I announced joining CFB. It's been over a year. I joined CFB a little bit before Modern Horizons 2. And Modern Horizons 2 has been out for like 18 months, or like 16 months. Right? Yeah. I know, it was like 2 or 3 weeks before MH2 that I joined, so... And it was like, that was what, like May or June of... Ooh. I saw the Tron land, I was like, yay, my Ragavan lives. Okay, no Tron for them yet. Let me take this Mattery Shaper. General Ferris could be a cool Shape Anew tool. That wasn't a card I'd really considered. It makes tokens. So like one problem is like the Shape Anew stuff isn't multicolored. And if you're playing General Rockrick, you want to be playing lots of multicolor spells, which is like lots of strain on your mana base. And in a mana base that is wanting to play Gingerbread Cabin, I'm not sure I really feel like it fits. It could fit though. We just have to do some drafts, I guess. Iconoclast. Iconoclast needs to be like near the top of your curve if you're playing Shape Anew. You also don't want to be playing like a blue-red 2-drop very often in a deck that is built around Gingerbread Cabin. You can do it. You can do it though. You know what I mean? It's modern. You can do anything. Just play Yavimaya, Gingerbread Cabin. Yeah, just always draw your Yavimaya. It's easy. Easy peasy, some might even say. Alright, let's Thoughtseize that Ugin. And hopefully don't die to Ballista. Getting our realities smashed. Was it? Oh, it's just right. It was way better to ping the Ballista. I don't know why. I was like so thirsty to get my 4th land for Soul of Windgrace. Yeah, it was way better to ping. All right, we'll see what we draw. That was probably a game losing punt though. Yes, okay. Things do get a lot better post-board. Obviously, we're still playing if we don't take that line, but we get to bring in a bunch of Boseijus, we get to bring in the Mites, the Needle, the Void Mirror. Void Mirror plus Boseiju is pretty awkward sometimes, where you like give them the mana to get through the Void Mirror, but if you just have Void Mirror in your opening hand, it just wins the game enough of the time that you want to bring it in, I think. Fatal Push is going to get cut, the Bolts are going to get cut, the Nihil Spellbomb is going. I think the Shadowspear just to erase their creatures is fine. One thing I usually think about E-Tron is people play way too much removal in the matchup. Like, your Urza Sagas are just going to be like bigger than all their creatures for the most part, and I don't think you need to prioritize creature removal very much at all. Like, I maybe even will cut the Terminates, and like the thing about Terminate is that it's like, it's okay against Smasher, it's okay against Thought-Knot Seer, but against Thought-Knot Seer, they just discard it from your hand a lot of the time. It's a problem. I think I'll probably cut the Power Conduits though in this matchup. It seems very difficult to make use of them. Could also cut lands when you bring in all these Boseijus too. Yeah, Fable's really good to copy Urza Saga tokens, and it's good with the Power Conduits, but I agree, we're maybe a little light on things to target copy with it. Yeah, Eldrazi Tron will usually play like a swamp for like the purposes of not like dying to Void Mirror. As being an Eldrazi Tron player, Void Mirror is a terrifying card. 6 Thoughteize effects, but not a single Dothi in the 75. Well, we're a Giganta Urza Saga deck. We're a Giganta Urza Saga deck. Dothie's pretty hard to cast. I usually feel like, especially when you play Wrenn and Six, like, it's just like, eating red, green, and black, black is so brutal in your Urza Saga deck. We also have a lot of incidental graveyard hate with Saga, so it's like you need that kind of effect less. Anyways. Okay, I'm gonna keep this. Kurt Bros, 35 months, thank you. I'm not gonna like blind needle anything. But most of 5. Why did I mull that 7? That 7 was like not close to keepable. We have like it was 2 Terminates, 2 lands, 2 4-drops, and I don't remember what the 7th card was, but we have no early game pressure, we have no Boseiju, we have nothing. Like, that hand was I feel like that hand was so bad it was just like not even worth like sitting and talking about, to be honest. Probably should cast this Mox Amber before the Void Mirror. There was not a Wrenn and Six, no. Oh, so we did. There was a Wrenn and Six. There was a Wrenn and Six. We didn't have a fetch land. We had Triumph Shockland. We had Triumph Shockland. There was a Wrenn and Six. We didn't have a fetch land to go with it. How often do you need a fetch land to put inside to catch them auto yielding? It's almost never like right to like set out to try to catch them auto yielding, where it's like they'll just like not auto yield most of the time, and then you'll have made a misplay. You know what I mean? So like I basically never take the line with that explicit purpose. Interesting chump block. This seems fine. Yeah, Haywire Mite is really interesting in Saga mirrors, where if you're just on the play, you get to Mite your Saga, but if you're on the draw, you get your Saga mited a lot of the time. Let's name. I think we named Karn the Great Creator. No, Karn's bad into the Void Mirror because he can only cast the 1 spell. Blast Zone. Maybe Blast Zone. I'm mostly just casting this for the artifact count, though. Doris, 7 months, thank you. O-Stone. They're Eldrazi-tron. They don't almost ever play O-Stone as a thing. Yeah, I guess Mono Green Tron. That's a more realistic name, I think. Okay, Doris, 7 months, 17 months, thank you. I haven't seen an Endbringer in a long time, and we have an Unholy Heat for Endbringer. I don't think that makes a lot of sense. Alright, shout out to Void Mirror. They play All's Dust? Yeah, but the All's Dust also doesn't do anything. Oh, you're talking about that over O-Stone. Yeah. Yes, I see. Okay, click submit. Game 3. No, they don't usually play Chromatic Star, but a Needle also, I don't believe, stops Chromatic Star since it's a mana ability, right? Okay, I like this hand. Hope we draw Boseiju. Put it most to 6. Trying to think what order we want to do the lands. I think it's probably gonna be Blood Crypt Forest. We'll see. So they have 2 Tron pieces, Reshaper, Smasher, Thoughtnet Seer, Karn. I think we take the Karn. The rest of their hand is pretty redundant. Okay, we did get our wish of Wrenn and Six plus Boseiju. I do think I'm going to establish my Wrenn and Six this turn. See if they... I mean, if they have their Urza's Tower and 2 natural draws, we get to complain and cry and whine. They don't have that. I do think this turn playing Thoughtseize plus Channel Boseiju is just like still playing too scared. When this Fable just is so much advantage against an opponent who's stumbling. I just think you're supposed to make the more proactive play against stumblers in general. They do play Matter Reshaper and we lose though. Game over. We haven't gotten to make that joke in a really long time actually. The joke. No way, they hit tower. I told you Matter Shaper is no joke. Should be okay though. We get to go kick Turok, channel Boseiju for 1 mana instead of 2. And Thoughtseize them with the treasure. They drew another Karn. Nice to have the Shadowspear to recoup our life, which we've lost a lot of this game. Ooh, our Mox taps for Jund colors too, which is pretty sweet. Pretty sweet. Now we're dead again. So I think I'm actually going to cast the Thoughtseize post-combat, since there's a good chance they like hit a Karn or something. I'd rather Thoughtseize from their hand after the Matter Shaper blocks, assuming the Matter Shaper blocks. Which is 1 less damage potentially, but that's fine. Yeah, there's a Thought-Knot Seer. Game over, man. Game over. I don't think I've ever been known this hard by John, my opponent says. They got to game 3. Okay, so 3-2 that league. Classic John 5-0. Classic, 2-hour, 20-minute league, too. Could do another league of John. I'm also I'm kind of honestly...